up isn't easy, and adolescence can be painful and confusing. In 1966, a whole young generation was trying to figure out where it fit in. Charlie X was Star Trek's comment on the troubled youth of America. Adolescent angst. It's a theme that was rarely touched upon in the series. Charlie Evans was the last survivor of a doomed expedition to a far planet. And now, it's up to the crew of the Enterprise to bring Charlie back into society. Is Charlie ready for society? Or perhaps the better question is society ready for Charlie? One thing is certain, and that is that the Enterprise has never encountered anyone like Charlie X.
And I like Charlie X because that was really kind of written for me, D.C. Fontana. Gene Roddenberry wrote it, but D.C. Fontana, I think it was her idea.
Gene knew that I wanted to be a writer. Gene didn't really care whether you were, what gender you were or how old you were, because I was quite young at the time, or what color you were. He just wanted somebody who could write well or act well and fulfill a role.
It's a wonderful part for Rand also because I got a chance to work with Robert Walker Jr., who never came out of his dressing room the whole time we did the show. He did not want to get close to us because he was supposed to be alienated from us, from another planet, and very strange.
Are you a girl? Is that a girl?
That's a girl.
When an opportunity arose on Star Trek for him to replace a story editor, he asked me if I would like to do it because he said, you know Star Trek as well as I do. I did, and he did, and I became the story editor halfway through the first season and stayed on until the end of the second season. I think this show talked to people through the characters. They're stories that speak to the heart.
I brought you a present. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it, but...
They talk about love, they talk about friendship, they talk about loyalty, they talk about patriotism, exploration, curiosity, reaching out. And I think all those things still touch people. Even when you look at a 30-year-old show, it still has something to say.
Robert Walker Jr. played Charlie Evans. His portrayal of Charlie X is both horrifying and sympathetic. Seems that Robert had acting in his blood because his father, Robert Walker Sr., starred in many films, including the Hitchcock classic Strangers on a Train.
Trekkies ask me all the time, how long does it take to get from the transporter to the planet? And I always say, 17 seconds. A lot of technical stuff has come to pass. We had communicators
Acknowledged.
and phasers. It's a show that's timeless. In other words, it keeps evolving each time we go to another planet, or each time the space shuttle takes off, each time we go where no person has gone before. It just perpetuates Star Trek. I started out on this show as a regular. I was told by Gene Roddenberry that this could develop into a serious role and could be Kitty to Matt Dillon, and could have a lot of scripts that would be very important, and that I don't think I ever was talked to about a promotion. I was the yeoman. I was really the bottom of the rung. I was the secretary, the valet, the confidant, the right-hand person of the captain.
Leonard Rand, this is Charles Evans. Show him to his quarters and drop his records off at Dr. McCoy's office, if you will.
Yes, sir. Come with me, please. The young, innocent Janice Rand, who was brought aboard on her first assignment and was introduced to this wonderful captain, and the crew, and she had her duties to perform, and she wanted to be good, and she wanted to be perfect.
I have something for you.
Charlie X came aboard and fell in love with me, and I didn't know what to do with him.
Pink is your favorite, isn't it?
You don't walk into a room without knocking.
Don't ever lock your door on me again, Janice. I love you.
I had to go to Kirk and say, what am I going to do with him? You know, you're gonna have to explain the birds and the bees to him, Captain. He's going to get hurt, and I have all those tender moments with Bill.
Captain, I've seen the look before. And if something isn't done, sooner or later I'm going to have to hurt him.
And Bill is standing there looking at me with those eyes. You know, he's such a hunk. And he looks at you with those eyes and that face. And you just, you know, Rand would just melt.
Charlie's problems may have been a bit stranger than those of the average teenager, but in the late 1960s, life was certainly not simple for anyone of Charlie's age. While the war in Vietnam escalated, a young generation was becoming aware of its individuality. No longer content to blindly follow and accept the constraints of society, they found their voice through rebellion and protest.